Staying with matters coming out of court, Ntuthuko Shoba has been denied bail. He's accused of ordering the murder of his pregnant girlfriend, Pule. Shoba was implicated by the hitman, Muzikayise Malipane, who pleaded guilty to the murder. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is in court and joins us now for an update. And Manqoba, it always comes down to the question of whether or not the person applying for bail is a candidate for bail and whether their release on bail is in the interests of justice. In this instance, it seems the answer is no.
Indeed, Tulas, and what is important to note is that Ntuthuko Shoba faces a Schedule 6 murder charge, which means that the onus is really on him, Tulas, to provide those exceptional circumstances and to prove, in fact, to the court that it is in the interest of justice for him to be released on bail. But the court saying that they're not quite convinced this morning that he's done that, Tulas. They're saying that, in fact, he has failed to provide any evidence of exceptional circumstances, and these are circumstances that are considered to be extraordinary, that are considered to be remarkable by the court, that you really have to produce. So unlike any normal bail application where you just simply argue in terms of whether or not you're a flight risk, whether or not you're a first-time offender, in a Schedule 6 bail application, you really have to iron out those exceptional circumstances. So the court saying that Ntuthuko Shoba has failed to do that this morning. In fact, it also believes that he's failed to show evidence that he will stand trial if released on bail. But also, you recall to us that last week he made mention of the fact that his life was being threatened from inside of prison. But the court saying that he has not produced any shred of evidence to this effect as to what measures he will take to ensure that his safety is upheld when he goes inside of those cells. So the magistrate saying that he has failed to produce any of those exceptional circumstances. But let me speak to the family now, just to get their quick reaction on what it is they think of this verdict. I'm joined now by Tumsang Katage, who is, of course, Pule's uncle. Let's start here, Babu Tumsang. How are you feeling as a family? Surely you're elated at this decision.
Look, we are relieved. We cannot say we are excited, but we are relieved. Another milestone has been achieved. I'm sure even Tsogofatso, where she's laying, she's still continuing to fight her battles as well. It was on the cards, even from the moment he presented his own bail application. There were no circumstances that were extraordinary or for the court to consider. But as a family, we are relieved that the court did not grant him bail. And we are preparing ourselves for the next step, which is to attend the trial. Just as we did with the case of Malipane, being there every step of the way to make sure that justice is got for Tsogofatso. Even this one, we're still going to continue doing the same.
And in terms of Tumisanga, this matter, of course, is going to go on again. How is it on you as a family? I mean, you were a step closer to justice when Malipane was convicted for the murder. But how is it now for the family that you have to go on this long haul again to ensure that there is justice and closure to this matter?
The family is emotional, and then it's taxing also psychologically on the family. You might have heard from the court the screams that they were actually shouting against Shoba because of this is the person to whom we entrusted Tsogo's life with. We expected that around him Tsogo would be safe, around him Tsogo would be loved and nourished. But again, the opposite happened. We are here today because of the contract that he entered into with Mr. Malipane to make sure that Tsogofatso doesn't see the day in the light on the actual day that she was murdered. It's a bit of all those negative emotions that are going through the family. More than everything, I think the family would seek more justice to happen, especially against Mr. Shoba.
Thank you. Let me not hold you too much, but let me bring in CCBC, who's one of the gender activists that's outside here of court. They, of course, have been protesting here in court this morning, calling for no bail for the suspect. Let me bring you in, Sihle, your reaction to what the court has just ruled on now, the judgment that was handed down by the court?
We are extremely elated and excited, and we're saying we stand with the family and we stand with justice, because justice denied is something that would actually have completely traumatized the family and women and children holistically.
Okay. I see Pinde Mjonondwane from the NPA is also just joined us. Pinde, your reaction to the judgment today here in court?
Well, we welcome the court's ruling. Indeed, it's a confirmation of the seriousness of the criminal justice system in dealing with cases of gender-based violence. The willingness is there, and it again shows that the criminal justice system is willing and able to deal with alleged perpetrators of such violent crimes against women.
And as a state, are you now ready, and do you believe that you have a strong case against Ntuthuko Shoba to go to trial?
Well, remember, Manqoba, that our work as a state is to present, now that we have jumped this hurdle of the bail application stage, now it's for us to prepare for trial. Investigations are still ongoing, so we are not yet ready for trial as the state, but our duty is to present evidence in court, prove our case beyond any reasonable doubt, and for the court to then make a determination. The court is the only platform that will make that determination when it reaches its conclusion, and when it gives feedback on all the evidence in totality that have been heard in court. It will then make a determination on the strength of the state case.
Okay, Pinde, let me hold it there. Thank you for your time. That was Pinde Mjonondwane, who speaks on behalf of the NPA here in Johannesburg. The case to us has been postponed to the 26th of March. We do understand that that's when the indictment or the charge sheet will then be handed over to the defense.
All right, eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu there with that update following that bail application by the man accused in the Pule murder case who's been denied bail.